Hi, everyone, and welcome to December 2022's episode number 3 of Messages from Heaven. I am Rebecca Anne LoCicero, and I am a local psychic medium. I was born in Hartford, raised in Manchester, and I've worked nationally, and now I'm coming to you here on CVC Live in Bolton because I want to share with you some connections and information about my job, about what I do. So I want you to know that this show airs from beginning to end with no edit. We don't put any pauses or stops on anything, except for like the last episode when we had to, if you missed it, I'm not even gonna tell you, you gotta go watch it. We had to restart the whole camera because more people from Spirit wanted to come through. And today I'm gonna have 3 more guests here who I do not know, who don't know me, who are going to have conversations with me about mediumship. And today we're gonna talk about signs. We'll probably talk about signs almost every single time we have a show like this. It's very important to me, especially, to make sure people understand that with mediumship, sometimes it's not just what Spirit says to me and what I bring through to somebody. It's about backing up what loved ones have already done for you, what loved ones have already brought through the signs that they need to bring through. So I'm going to talk to you for just a minute about different signs and different things that go along with holidays. In particular, I mean, we all know that it's a cardinal. Sometimes I want to say, I'll even say out to a whole group, I'll say, if cardinal is your sign and if cardinal is your code word, there you go, you got it. It's the number 1. A lot of people consider that bright red majestic bird as a sign that their loved one is watching over them, that their loved one is with them. Cardinals tend to stick around and be around. But if you were going to go into the bird category, you've got hawks, you've got eagles, hummingbirds often are signs. Some people like robins. And then you can move all of that into different kinds of animals. So when people talk about signs being from their loved ones, I'll crack jokes. I'll say, okay, it's either an inside sign or an outside sign. So if you're somebody who is thinking about your loved one, maybe it's a special day or it's the holidays, then if you are in a place where you might get a hello from a loved one, like the butterflies that are on my sign, a lot of people feel that when a butterfly comes around, it's an example of transformation. I agree. I think that a butterfly is a great way to give yourself some validation that your loved one is with you. So here's the thing about me. I'm a little quirky. So let me give you an example of why the wildlife comes around. If you're out somewhere, your loved one has a vibration, an energy, a soul. And that soul is literally standing with you as you are in thought in that location. Wildlife, animals of all kinds, can feel and sense when heaven is around, and they flock to it. So it's not like the butterfly is actually your grandmother or the hawk is actually your dad. Although I think in spirit, if you wanted to be a hawk and go flying around, you probably could join in with that energy, but that's another whole show. But you have to know that if that is something that you can depend on and you can use to make yourself feel better, then know that when you see that, your loved one isn't that far away, or that animal itself. That loved one is standing right with you all the time. A couple other things that I want to make sure that we point out that a lot of people don't understand is that during the holidays, especially, and I'm talking about the season where it starts to get cold and people start thinking about winter blues, and you get into the October, cold November, December, we wonder, what recipes we're going to cook that our loved ones used to cook. So, December, Christmas, of course, or Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate at the holidays, it still is a family gathering. And it's almost like an impending knowing that there's going to be somebody missing again. And that's for every family. It's actually a reality. And what I want to make sure with this show and this episode in particular is that I want you to take from it that grief is not just for the holidays. and that you have permission to not grieve any harder because it's a Christmas season. But there are a couple of things that you could do. So you may feel at some point in time inspired to cook a dish or make a mixed drink that your loved one used to make. I suggest you do it because they'll be right with you in your ear. It's like a guaranteed visit. I would say that if you feel compelled to like call certain family members or send that odd Christmas card out to somebody, that it most surely is your loved one whispering in your ear, you know, oh, get that for them, or oh, make sure you call them. And follow through with it. It'll be a feel good. You may find yourself also, and I do this a lot, and not just at the holidays, I'll start singing something, and I'll be like, how come I'm singing that song? And it's nice to think that maybe your loved ones are humming a tune, and you can link in and hum that tune with them. So during the holidays, I think those are great things to look for. I would also say, and I'll run through it really quick, music, whether it's your songs or theirs, familiar scents when you wouldn't normally smell something. There's also, you know, people have dreams. Something that happens here in a lot of places where I work, lights start flickering. Hopefully we don't lose any lights. Not to be like totally haunty, but some loved ones will open doors, open cabinets, move things around. You'll be like, I swear I left that there, and it moves a couple of inches. That can happen. You may also see a huge amount of numbers or repetitious signs that may represent like a way for them to say hello. It could be like the angel numbers where you have a 111 or a 222 in some order, or it may be your birthday numbers or their birthday numbers or even their death date numbers. Anything to get you a hello or to get you a sign for the holidays. So, before I get started, I'm going to also read. I'm going to read a very special poem that was written by a medium about grief. And then when I'm done with this poem, I'm going to introduce you to the guests that we have for today's show. I'm going to ask them their opinion of holidays and see what kind of readings we can do, because purpose has been made and spirit's going to fly through. Okay. Grief through a medium, and this is by a girl named Julia Jett. A soft breeze or a familiar scent, the physical feeling of a touch so real yet no longer there. The emptiness and missing space, there now more than ever before. Songs that trigger memories. Pulling up your feelings to their extremities. Please know that this is okay and try to remember me in a different way. Picture my smile as I look down upon you and know that I am there through rain and sunshine too. To take care of you with my wings, either old or new. Know that I am lifting you up and holding you close through those good days and bad, bad times the most. Smile back at me when a feather crosses your path. Laugh at your memories that will always last. And when the bird of my soul flies by you, just knows that it is me visiting you. I warm you with my spirit through the flame of the candle that you light for me. And as you do, please try to set some of your grief free. Play our song and dance with me and release some of that energy. For even though I am no longer on your plane, my love for you will always remain the same. So try to recall me in a positive light. Expect your grief, you don't need to fight. I'll give you my hand whenever I can until I meet you again in another land. So know that the hole in your heart and in your soul can still keep us apart. And every day since I left you, know is a beautiful start. And that was Julia Jett Readings that put that together. It is difficult through a medium to be able to relate sometimes to all of the grief. But it's nice when you have somebody like Julia who could write a poem like that and give you some insight. So with that being said, I'd love the opinions of my guests. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are ya?
Good.
So I was already writing down a little bit because we did some name checks. And it's Mary, and it's Jean, and it's Amber. Mm-hmm. Hi, ladies.
Hi. Hello.
How was that?
Beautiful.
Was it all right?
Yes.
It pulls at my heartstrings at the holidays. It makes me feel as if I can't do enough, you know, and it's not just do enough, it's that I can't, it's like that whole, from Aladdin when the genie's like, a couple of quick pro quos, I can't raise the dead, you know, and it's like, I can't bring that back. But I can repeat over and over and over again, like, this is what you can do to get a whole, and it's not good enough, is it?
No.
Say it.
No,
it's not good enough. And I think that that's really important because, don't cry yet.
I know, I'm
Here. We are live, we don't edit, girl.
I know. Uh-oh. Trying to suck it in.
No, you're totally fine. It's emotional because it's like, I can't fix that. There's so many different things that a medium wants to go, yes, do this, yes, do that. Well, it doesn't matter how many books you read or what you do. My job, I often think about like what exactly is it with the mediumship that's my job? And all I know is that there is an afterlife. I don't care what you call it. I call it heaven. There's no other better word for me. I can't think of a better word. I mean, it's a word from poetry. It's not even, you know, it's not even like a place. It's just a word. It's up there above the clouds. So to me, I think why do it then? Why would I want to do that connection? And really, I think it lightens it for the moment to be able to get validation from somebody who doesn't know you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know you. I know your daughter. She's a member of this CVC family.
Yes.
And you're her sister.
Yes.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So the anticipation is for me to read you right off the bat. For me, it's a little bit of conversation. So what I want to do is I want to ask you what it is that you do during the holidays to help yourself kind of, you know, deal with even just helping others with grief. Like, do you burn candles at the church? Do you know, is there one specific thing that you feel like you may do? It's almost like I shouldn't even ask that question because everybody will just look at me funny. Is there a dad crossed? Okay, I have your dad coming through and he just won't even be quiet. He's like, Rebecca, why are you asking them stupid questions? Just get to me and talk to me and be done with it. And I don't know you, so I'm gonna say this. I am 100% sure that these ladies feel the exact same way you do and they understand as well, because I feel as if you also have a dad crossed.
Right.
Okay, it's different, but it's a dad. It's that male figure that you looked to. So he's kind of going, oh, I'm not the best character in the world. And I'm going, oh, this is going to be fun TV then. Because, you know, if you're a bad word, then I get to be bleeped.
I can't even.
He wants to curse. He wants me to be able to bleep a thing. So we'll see what comes out. I think he was the one that was singing to me the song, but you guys knew the song. But his point was he was singing, well, it's all right. And you were saying, who's this? What song is this?
I just heard that song.
I know. You just heard it last week.
I just heard it last week.
George Harrison.
Okay.
And
well, I'm all
Just
right.
last
And that's all I could think. And it was like, okay, how can I show her any more than this, that he is all right?
Weatherby's.
The Traveling Weatherby's,
Yeah.
right.
Well,
So do you know this? Is this his thing? Is there a music thing with him? He shows me a very old radio. Just so you know.
Okay.
I almost feel like he's showing me that it has like the stereo dial.
Okay.
Do you understand? Is this around still?
Garage.
Okay, but it's still around, he says. Is this a record player that has the knob, or is it the whole, like one of those things the kids wanted in the 90s? Okay,
Yeah.
the stack, yes. And he says you'll find my music there. Does this make sense? So are his cassettes there, or his records?
His CD, his actual CD.
He has an actual CD, like he played music, like he's on music, like was he a singer? Oh my, okay.
That's why when I
You just can't make this up. Okay. He's exciting, but he's also showing me that there's other people that are here for you, but he's exciting. He's literally exciting. I would say this, he wanted to be exciting. I think he wanted to be known as being exciting and fun. Can you tell me if he got, and it's yes or no, you guys kind of, and tears are great, just so you know. I think it's beautiful. I mean, who cares, right? And if you don't cry, I'm gonna, so. Is there, I had written down the letter P. Does that make sense somewhere with you? If not, that's okay. I also had written down Ed, but I feel like that went, no, it is. Okay,
that
so.
would make sense.
Ed would make sense with Dad?
Yes.
Okay, it's not his name.
No.
Okay.
Well, no.
No.
Middle name.
His middle name is Ed?
Or
Okay.
Word, but Edward.
Well, that's okay. I understand Edward. Okay, so if it's his middle name, fine. I wrote Ed next to your name. No, your name, actually. Just because I felt like it needed to be expressed, but he's trying to show me there's more. And I'm going, okay, well, how much more can there possibly be? He starts to talk to me about kids, so you're not his only one, right? So did kids come out of the woodwork or something? Like a lot of kids?
I have a lot of kids.
You have a lot of kids. Okay, so he's got a lot of grandkids. I mean, are we going like 5+ or 5? You have 5. Okay. So for him to say that he's watching over all 5 of your kids is so fun. Okay.
The funniest, I can't even, I'm sorry, it's just so funny that
Go
it's him. He would be like, he didn't believe in this kind of stuff at all. Like, he was just like,
Really?
adamant. Yeah.
Oh no, he's flying through with
That's so
flying.
fu- he's probably
He's got
excited.
this great.
That's
He has a very rough exterior. I mean, I don't know if I want to call it like Harley rough. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I feel like he literally, and the reason I would say that is because he showed me a pirate flag. Does that make sense? I can't stop. We're not editing.
Yes, it makes like so much sense.
You were making me so happy. Can you feel that? Oh, yeah. That's heaven. That's what he feels like all the time. All that good. Like that's why I do this job. Not to see you cry, but that's why I do this
I
job.
can't even get over this. Yes, the pirate. Pirate is like a whole thing in my family.
Fine. I saw the flag. Like it was up really high, like it would hang off of the back of a motorcycle. That's what it looked like. Like that kind of a thing.
Okay, totally
So
understand.
whatever that was. He says we have a quirky's a good word for him, birthdays. Right? So are they birthdays on the weirdest day? Like are we Friday the 13th babies or are we, no?
Well, we
July.
have one.
You have one Friday the 13th?
Yep,
a
in the
13th?
family.
Okay. But he says there's holidays and July. Holidays and July.
Okay.
So the holidays are hard. He got sick, he said, because of the holidays. He's not blaming the holidays, although he'd like to blame the holidays. He'd like to blame everything but himself for getting sick. But I think he needs to blame himself, okay? So he's gonna lie to me like he lied here about his health, but he's in heaven, so I have to give you a true personality that he's gonna lie about it, but that he's also telling me the truth. So I'm getting 2 stories. Did he lie here about his health?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So he's telling me he lied here,
Oh yeah.
but he's telling me he's not gonna lie now.
Okay, that's good. That's what I'd like to hear.
Okay. I just, it's almost like, he's really not the easiest to talk to. Son of a gun.
I think it's so funny.
Your mom is here, right?
Yes.
They were together, weren't they?
Very close, but not together.
Okay, but friends then? Still
they were-
friends?
oh, yeah, they-
Because
yeah.
he's given her all kinds of love. He thinks this is the funniest thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
Where's the T sound? The letter T.
T.
And if it doesn't match, that's okay.
There is
A T,
I could come up with something.
Tia. 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 I don't know. Tia. He's singing. He's singing.
Yeah, all the
He
time.
was in a band? Oh my God. And he sang. He's got a really big ego about that. Best band on the planet. They don't know what they lost. Like, he's all funny. Like, I feel bad for those band members.
I'm gonna make them watch this because
Did he drink?
back in the day.
Well, with them then. Because he's like, they won't remember me. We drank.
This is just too crazy. I can't even right now.
Can you know, one of the things that I would do, he says, he had a lot of clothes, or he's one of those men who had a lot of t-shirts, right? Like, whether they were band t-shirts, or I went to this camp t-shirt, or I helped you with your 3rd grade bounce hut project, whatever it may be, he's got t-shirts. You know, they do those t-shirt, so you can give them to people who will do, they'll do quilts. I know a business, Hugs from Heaven, they do things like that too, nonprofit kind of, help you with your stuff. And it's one of those things where I feel like he's trying to tell you that there's items he wants to hug. He's a hugger, right? So I feel like he wants you to have something that you can hug. Does that make sense? I don't know why he talks about that. Maybe because he just wants you to have something. Okay. 5, huh? That's a lot to watch over, he says.
Busy house.
Almost like a joke, but he says it's a lot. I'm hearing a couple other things. Is there and if it's not for you, it could be for you, so I'm not sure exactly like how far, or is there a Bob? Okay. Who's Bob then? I'll get to you guys, I promise. I hope. I mean, we could sit here all the time and quiet.
You guys have a Bob, please tell me you have a Bob.
We don't have a
I can't
Bob.
take much
No. You look like it feels good. See, I was looking for somebody who might have crossed a little more traumatically than an illness, like your dad. So what about Bob? Is this
Bob
family?
Definitely.
Was Bob a traumatic crossing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so but it was more of an accident.
Yeah.
To me, he says this was an accident. He says it's not a, is this a friend? Right? A friend. Makes me want to sing. You say he does the friend. When they do that from spirit, sometimes it makes me laugh. But he wants to make sure you know that how can I put it for him? He says this was a real accident, like not really anybody's fault.
Yeah, no.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was like too much, was it bad weather? Say no, you can say no to me.
I don't think so. I don't think it was weather related.
Is it a vehicle, like a car? Or, again,
Kind of.
vehicle.
Yeah, you're right general direction.
Well, I hope so. It's a quad. Okay, so not a motorcycle, but a quad. Gotcha. So this is a perfect example of somebody who's riding a quad inappropriately. I mean, I'm not going to say he was naked. It's a possibility. This was Bob. Don't raise your eyebrows. Bob was naked a lot. Argue with me.
Whatever.
Can you argue with me about that?
Bob was wild.
That's what he's coming through as. He's like, I was partying. I was not dressed to drive a quad. Like dressed, literally. So whatever he's got on is not what he's supposed to be wearing. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect him in any way. I'm not. But he is very, was he like under 30 when he crossed? Or 30?
Young. I'm in that area.
Well, if he's over 30, I'd be surprised. I don't see much more than that, but I do see that he had a lot going for him, and I feel like he had family. And there's a really big part of him that is happy that you have family. I don't know when your connection with him was, but he makes me feel like you got what you always wanted. You got your kids. And he thinks that's a blessing. I don't know what his scenario with that was. I feel like he was blessed too. So he kind of comes through with an I love you. In a friend way.
Yeah.
I'm not inappropriate with him.
No,
He's
no.
inappropriate, but he's not inappropriate with you.
Yeah,
Does that
no.
make sense?
Yes.
He has somebody else, right? Like, did he have a wife or? Okay, so to me, he's definitely in that space, but at the same time, he seems to be just like heaven's definitely got their hands full with that one. Does that make sense? And he also just ends with talking about his hair. So he must have had hair. Did he have hair? Like hair? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So would you hang out with all these like rock and rollers or something? Because he's or drummers. And that's how he makes me feel. Your dad is laughing. I don't know if they knew each other, but he says, oh, I knew I'd see him here. So, but I think it was Bob talking about your dad going, I knew I'd meet you up here. So they both made it to heaven, apparently, is what their joke is. For me, it gets a little quirky if I'm going to leave one reading and go into another reading, which I know I'm going to do. And doing this on television, I get lost in it. I don't know exactly, where, how can I put it? It's almost like, oh, now I'm back at the radio station, like I'm back at the television station. So your dad just leaves me with this overwhelming amount of just love for you and love for your family, and I feel like love for your mom too. I mean, they made you, so they tend to group together like that. He does bring up the holidays. Would a deer, like a Rudolph or like a deer connect with him? Deer in your yard, deer.
Oh.
He talks about if I'm outside, I'm a deer. That's what he talks about.
Okay.
Do you get signs from him?
No.
Why not?
I think because I'm so sad.
Okay. Can you understand that? Not getting a sign because you're feeling so sad. I can understand that. Do you think that getting a sign would make you feel more sad? Is that... Girl, you just came on TV with a medium who knows how to read.
I know, that's crazy.
You're
I
done.
can't
You're
believe-
done for like a year.
Yeah.
There's going to be signs like daily now because they're going to be easy compared to this.
Yeah, I think it would make me feel better. I think that's been part of the reason I've been so sad is because I haven't felt connected. I felt like there was nothing after.
Well, my job, like I said, if you believe 1% more in the afterlife after this, then it gives you that 1% more of an ability to put the energy into seeing what different signs are out there. So what I usually do is I suggest right away, take all spiritual thoughts about it and all religious thoughts about it out of it. And I go, okay, you're made up of 3 things, right? Water, bacteria, and electricity.
Yep.
Boom. Let's take away the water, let's take away the bacteria, that's like your food and water, right? And what's left is this electricity. And that electricity is what I call the soul. So that soul, that electricity runs on currents. So we run on your cell phone going off for no reason, or copper, anything that's to do with copper. So when I say to you, let your dad bring you pennies from heaven, start with that. And when you find one, you can say, okay, Dad, I got my penny from heaven. Where's my next one? If you acknowledge it, you'll get another. Acknowledge, get another. It's like beating a path between it. A lot of people will say, oh, okay, that's like seeing a yellow car, and once you call it out, you'll see 10 yellow cars in a day. I'm like, okay, so I get 10 hellos. So be it. I'll take it. Why not?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit picky. I have a papa in spirit, and when I find, if he gives me a sign, it has to be 2 pennies together. And if it's not 2 pennies together on the ground, it's not a sign. It's just money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I had dime situations happen with another loved one that crossed. It was like all of a sudden they were everywhere. I was like, okay, fine, you're a dime, not a penny, not a, you know.
Yeah.
So feel free to make it what you want to make it, but start there. And if you wake up in the morning, you're like, all right, Dad, a penny today, and you get 2 feathers in a row, guess what, girl?
It's feathers.
It's feathers. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you have to listen for his sense of humor about it and take it for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Or you get in the car and, you know, the Beatles come on and it's Penny Lane.
Yeah.
Take it for what it's worth.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
And you have to start somewhere, and just a little bit. And then as soon as you acknowledge that it's from them, then you're gonna feel him there. And then all this wave of grief comes. But at least you got validation. We're human. We need concrete signs. We need to have them in our senses. We need to smell them around, if it's gonna be the perfume or a cigarette smoke or something like that, you know? And if you're out in the car somewhere and all of a sudden you think you smell your dad, okay, say, hi, Dad.
Yeah.
You know, give it a little bit of energetic response,
Okay.
because it comes from your heart and soul when you speak. That's where that energy is coming from them. The best they can do. They do their best. They definitely try.
Yeah.
Although your dad's a little stubborn. Maybe this is just a way to kind of kick him in the you-know-what to get a couple of more signs through. Whew, that was fun. I literally was like, let me read this poem and talk about all this stuff and ask you guys what you thought. And then it was like, oh, but your dad. And there are no signs. So this was the perfect
Yeah. This
opportunity.
was the first time I felt like I got a sign.
I'm so happy.
Me too.
He makes me happy. Whew. And in a way, I'm also glad that the Bob that came through, this younger man, the way that he came through to say hi as a friend, it does a couple of things. It's almost like Dad goes, hey, Bob, come over here. This is getting a little serious. So Bob comes in to kind of lighten the weather. Do you know what I mean? Because they knew each other. And then that's the way they kind of separated from it. So, you know, which is fun. And then switching from one energy to another. So how are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Is that hard? Is it hard to watch? Or I don't know. What does it feel like?
Also, it feels good.
I think it's a wonderful thing to see.
You do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm in it, it feels really good. And afterwards, sometimes I wonder, because I'm like, I don't know if it's, but to watch it is
Oh, I think
this
it's
close is okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see how she feels after I do it to you.
Oh.
Whew. Okay. So I have had with me a P letter and an Ed. And I feel like the Ed needs to come through. So, Ed was your dad's middle name.
And his dad's name.
Was Ed also. Okay. So I'm not exactly sure with that then. I'll hold on to that. And Bob was definitely for her, even if you have one, but that was definitely for her. What about the P sound, like a Paul or a Peter? Actually, I kind of felt like a Pete.
Uncle Pete from many years ago.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to date back too far. I don't want to get like, does Pete match? And you listen, I do not have control of spirit. Let's make that very clear, like right now with this show. Anything that happens in this unedited time is what happens. If I want to read you and they don't let me do it right away because I have to bring somebody else through, I'm not going to complain. Is Peter somebody else, or is it somebody your dad would reference a hello to?
Yeah, he would reference a hello.
So is it somebody who's here?
Yes.
Okay, see how that was easy. All right, so is it connected to his family?
No.
Okay. I just want to say Pete, like Pete, Pete, repeat.
Yeah, I can make sure that I
Well,
say something to them.
be like, I was on this weird TV
Yeah,
show with this
totally will.
medium from Vernon. Sorry. Have you met me? It's fun.
It is. Very.
Your dad's energy is a whole different kind of vibration. There is also a good number of children in this family, he says. So is it just the two of you with kids?
Yes.
The two of us with kids, but then another sister.
You have one more sister?
Yes,
Okay,
without
hold on. I'm getting too parched. Feel free to, you know. There's a couple of different things that I'm feeling. Is mom crossed also?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm feeling a really lot of love and a lot of energy coming through from your mom. And I feel like your dad is here and he wanted to come through because your dad came through and it was almost like a me too. And then he sat down and let your mom come forward and I was like, what did you just do? So I'm looking to hear from him and he's just like,
Yeah.
so silent, but present.
But always there.
Always,
Yes.
yeah. He's like,
Always
I
there.
am here first,
Yes.
I am here. And so a lot of people will say to me, can you see them? And I say, no, I can't see them if they're talking to me. And if they're talking to me, that means they're projecting to me somewhat of a mental image, kind of like the pirate thing. Okay, so what he gave me was a very, what I would consider to be a well-dressed man. Just so you know. He's not dirty. She's saying no. He's saying,
Jeans and flannel shirts.
carpenter,
He's a
yeah.
carpenter.
Don't tell me too much. That's okay. Didn't we go over these
Okay,
rules,
no,
ladies
no.
and gentlemen?
Yeah, but no.
I'm going to tell you again. He's sitting here and he looks like a very well-dressed man. I'm not going to take that away from him. All I can tell you is that he is trying to support your mom. That's how I feel. And I almost feel like every single thing he does is trying to support your mom and you guys. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a third sister who's not here.
Right.
Oh, she's going to want to be here. That's okay. She'll understand. Is she just farther away so she
Yes.
couldn't? Okay. So to me, I feel as if your dad says, he's cute. He says, TV doesn't stop me from being with her. So as he's sitting here with us, he's showing me this vision that he can also be there with her. I'm hearing the letter J come through really strong. Is he the J?
He's the J.
And is your sister a J also? Thank you. Okay.
Crazy, right? Telling you.
Yes.
High five, sister.
Yes.
Well, you're a Jean, so,
I'm a
and I
Jean.
know you're a Mary, so, but she's a J. Is it a Janet? I don't know what the name is then. So can you tell me your sister's name?
Joanne.
Joanne, thank you. Okay. So not a Janet, but a Joanne. Is it the Joanne like that, or is it just, okay, gotcha. He's just trying to make sure that she's included because we would never want to leave anybody out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm also laughing because he's the one that told me, I'm going to sit here so your mom can talk, and he's the one that's talking. And again, he says, I dressed up for this. So I really need you to know that I feel like, did you bury him in jeans and a flannel? No, I'm thinking, not to be weird, but I'm thinking he's in his suit. It's black, but gray. So there's a hue of gray. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. He's like, I look pretty damn good, by the way. Just so you know, he's like, I am not upset about this at all. It was what we had the suit for. Better bury me in it than not. So he gets it. Does that make sense? Yes. Like even right down to good shoes, he says. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he says, I went out in style. He says he looked good. And that's why what I see him in. So I can see that, there'd be no way your mother would have buried him in flannels and in jeans. Just not going to happen. No. He's not going to get his way, is what I hear. you know, it's a stereotype to talk about the good food. Are you a junior? Who's another Mary? You're Mary. Is her mama Mary?
Mom's cousin.
You're another
godmother.
Mary. Your
Her
godmother
godmother.
is okay. So it's not your mom who's a Mary. It's your godmother who's a Mary. Is she crossed?
Yes.
I have Mary with you, and then for a minute I thought it was your mom. So I have not Mary. Then is that what we would say? She's a cousin to your mom, but she's an aunt to you, even though that doesn't make sense. That's okay,
But
right?
it was respect that you
the older
You
cousin.
called her an
always
aunt.
an aunt. Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of my second cousin by a first name,
Right.
Mary.
Right.
I'm sorry. These are really good people. We're Catholics, all of us, right?
Yes.
Okay, me too. So that's all right. Well, just because they all have what they show me, like the little blue Pieta book. They all show me the singing. They all show me like their angel signs, their saint signs, their Mary signs. So your mom and Mary were like best friends,
Yes.
because now they're standing with each other. And your dad's like, here we go. I will ask. 9, the number 9. So 9 sometimes would go with September, but the number 9, boy, my hands are all weird today. So just,
September is
okay, connected
Yeah.
in some way. So dates count when a medium talks. Dates are usually, for me, birth dates, death dates, or anniversaries. So let me be clear. We do not have death dates. Okay? We have miracles. But they may bring it through. So 9 is an important number.
Can't think of that.
September is both my kids' birthdays are in September.
I think that would be a huge hello.
My parents' wedding anniversary.
Their anniversary. Okay.
Their anniversary. Yeah.
Yes, as we hear your granddaughter, their granddaughter hollering from the other room. By the
Yes.
way, it's their, okay.
That's right.
So they gave me the 9. I see the number 12. I don't know if 12 matches with something.
Joanne's birthday is 9/12.
Okay, 9/12 is the sister that's not.
Yes. Right.
Okay, so you can't make that up.
No.
That's fun. What that does to me inside, what I'm reading you, and it's right, is good for you guys, and it's incredible for them. And I'm just like, I'm like the brownie batter spoon that you get to lick at the end. Like, it's just the best part of it all is what's happening in the middle. I want you guys to know. I have to mention a couple of things to you that are very important. I feel like there is a boy or possibly a baby, a younger male. Do you understand this in any way?
That has passed?
It's either there or to come. Is somebody pregnant?
Not that we
Not that we know of yet. I'm hoping.
We don't have any small babies missing, right? Okay, so I see babies coming. If they're coming, they want to say boy. And they keep showing me all this like blue lights, like blue flickers or blue like orbs almost. Not like I'm actually seeing them, they're showing it to me, which I'm old, so blue and pink are my boy and girl signs. So I have to say that. So are we waiting for somebody is somebody trying? Oh. All right, well, hopefully I didn't blow any secrets. But I feel like this is something important. I feel like we're waiting for this. So in some way, I feel like we're supposed to just say that, like, in a way, like heaven is going, hey, guess what? Your family is growing, and we know them. And that's kind of like what's making me excited is that, you know, when you have your grandchild, your parents already know him.
No.
They love you. I mean, do all 3 of you girls, I feel like she's here with me. Like, it's like the 3 roses or the 3 flowers or the 3 petals or the 3,
The
you
3
know.
girls, always. Yeah.
Always. And your mom thinks that everything that you guys did was right on target and perfect. Like, I feel like you had, like with her crossing, she's saying, when after she crossed, everything you guys did was just, well, all laid out. Does that make sense? Were you in charge of taking care of her or taking care of the estate?
Yeah.
Because she really just wants to commend you all for being so loving and compassionate and understanding. It's not easy. The trauma stories that you read, that sometimes the aftermath of a death can be worse than the death itself sometimes. And I think you guys led by good example for your families to never act like that, and to always be compassionate towards each other. Everybody has different situations. You all lost the same people. You're all going to grieve differently.
Right.
I see it even in just the way Mary stands so close behind you and your mom stands so close behind you. It's like I can see the generational hugs coming down from both. And your dad's just over here going, this is too much. So I'm laughing. Is there an M sound? Another M? Another, male. Matt, Mike, Mark, Mike? Is this somebody we've lost? Okay. Is it a husband? Or like a husband? Or it's an ex-husband. Okay, I'm going to say he's coming through telling me, whoa. Give me a second on that one.
Oh boy.
Wow, we just went from your dad and your friend. Okay, wait, remember when I say it gets a little quirky inside Rebecca when we switch from people to people? I didn't expect that. Oh, look, you got all like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Yeah, what are we going to do here now? Oh, I get it. Did you expect this?
What?
I expected a parent. I didn't know it was both. I felt your dad all day, but he didn't say a word.
Quiet.
Just felt him, almost like with a fedora kind of presence over me. And then I see your connection, and then here comes this. Heaven doesn't apologize. I say this a lot. It's almost as if, we want them to have peace. In order to have peace, they can't be hanging on to something they need to apologize for, hoping you'll forgive them. He understands why he behaved the way he did. And he's going to call that out about himself. He literally shows me that heaven does not give him the power to have that kind of power over anyone here anymore. That's a hard way to put it. And it's kind of like he's chasing around. He's basically showing me that he was not nice to you at all. And he's lucky we weren't girlfriends. Because back then, I would have grabbed your sisters and gone knocking on some doors or some heads. Because I don't think he treated you very nice, period. I mean, there's a lot of words we could use for this, but it wasn't good. He's calling it out. He's like, I know. So he's being honest, and he's being truthful, and he's not coming in hurting. He says, heaven doesn't give me the energy to hurt. It's not here. He says, I have peace. So his soul doesn't have a desire to cause pain. So he says him coming through to say hello to you is just to say hello to you. Nothing else. He goes, for once, Mary, no agenda. He drives way too fast. It's like scary how fast he drives. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't ever want to be in a car with him. He's like, you don't want to be in a car with me. So
Or have to
good
follow
mad
him.
or bad mad or anything, right?
Yeah.
You're right.
Did he drink? Yeah, okay. So he was trying to cover up, hide, or heal, or self-medicate his own demons in a sense. And I don't mean that demons in some kind of like way. I just mean his, emotional anxiety and whatnot. He says he can hear you at times. You've had conversations with him. And he says that his death was definitely a result of him and his own behaviors. Do you understand? So he did not go out well. He just didn't. He doesn't tell me what it is, but it's not pretty. Whatever is going on with him is not pretty. So I don't know if it's drinking or if it's other abuses on his body, but he definitely loses his life because of it. Do you understand? Okay. And so I don't think hospitals would have been able to help him. Let's put it that way. Does that make sense? Like, we can't even get to a hospital for this. Okay. And then he says that there's three kids. Are there 3 kids somewhere? 3? Or is he one of 3?
He's one of 3.
He's one of 3. Okay. So maybe he's talking about his siblings in some way. But then he says that for the time that you and him were together, he did learn a lot. Like, his soul did get a little bit of a wake-up call. I don't know, like, maybe you were the first girl to leave him. I don't know how to put that, but I think it kind of like, he's like, that ripped me up. Like, he's like, what? Like, he thought he could get everything he wanted. That wasn't going to happen.
That sounds like
But he was scary.
Yeah, could be.
Mary, he was scary. And he, in a sense, is telling me that because I think he feels bad that he scared you. That's not right. You don't do that in relationships. So he's calling out his truth, and I feel the weight lifting. So did he trigger something and take it from you? Yeah.
I was kind of hoping.
Yeah, he just did that. So whatever you feel, what happens is, because I'm in the middle, he kind of comes down into you and he goes, you don't need to carry any more of that fear. I'm never going to hurt you. And he kind of takes it and right up through me, and it's gone.
Good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm sorry and thank you. Like, I don't even know, like, Mike. Just Mike. Hey, what's your name? Mike. That's how it sounds, Mike.
Mike.
What are you doing? Nothing. He must have been hot. For his day. Whew. That's love, though. To be able to come through and to do that for you is his way of kind of trying to be love. Do you ever see his siblings? Then I think him mentioning 3 might have been his way of mentioning that. Okay, so I think we're done. Whew, I don't know if I expected all that, but that was so cool. Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts? Nothing, huh? Great ending, guys.
I don't know what to say.
I know.
I don't know what to say.
I'm just so thankful you came, that you were willing to do this.
Yeah. I was a little nervous.
I was nervous too.
I was nervous about this.
About Mike.
This was very recent. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. Thank you.
How recent was it?
3 weeks ago.
People ask me all the time, how soon can they come in? I say, right away. For you to be here, he just crossed 3 weeks ago. That's a huge risk you took.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a difficult thing. Because he was an ex, you know.
Yeah. Well, just because they're next doesn't mean that they were part of your soul path.
That's right.
They're part of your soul family. They are a soulmate, just not one that got to stick around. I don't know.
Right.
And then your dad, are you good now?
Kind of.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Is my mom with him?
Is your mom cross too? Oh, sweetie.
Oh.
He did say something about being with your mom and loving her, didn't he? Okay, we're going to say this. I think that for me to be able to say to you, yes, mom is with him, and for him, and for me to have had a reading with him and her not come through at this time, doesn't mean that she's not there. It just means that for this television show, she was like, nah, I'm not coming on TV. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there might be a connection with her, but you'll have to, like for me, I have to go backwards and think about what was it that I said. I do remember him saying, he's trying to say, you know, I love mom.
Yeah.
Got to know I love mom. So I know that he brought her up. And I know that he was making it out to be a positive connection to say that he was with her. I just didn't have her actually, yeah, but you know, that's all right. Thank you for only bringing one parent at a time. You know?
It's been a rough year.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's a legitimate question. I will say this, if one person came across another person and they had any kind of connection at all for any reason, that connection never goes away. And in soul, that electricity is actually marked by a spark. And those sparks don't go out. So the sparks between your parents that
They
were
were
connections,
soulmates too. They weren't normal.
they were normal.
They were just
What it
Who
should
is
have been.
normal these days?
Right.
Who's rating normal right now?
they were something weird.
All right. Well, thank you guys
Thank you very much.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning in this December's show, episode number 3, Messages from Heaven. I am Rebecca Anne LoCicero. I am a local psychic medium, and I am doing this show to just cheer people up and to bring some love and to show that mediumship can be real, unedited, uncut. Have a great holiday season, and I will see you Wednesday nights at 7:30.